What's up, YouTube world? This is Steven again. It is currently 11:34 p.m. on September 13th of 2018, and this is going to be something different. This is going to be me telling a little bit of a story about something that happened to me about a little over 5 years ago. So I'm going to try not to get emotional about it, and I don't think I will. I just said that just in case, because I've seen some videos on YouTube about people talking about it, and some people do. So I just said that just in case. I don't think I will, but yeah. All right, here we go. So this all started around late March or early April of 2013. So I had a kind of like a cyst or like a boil type thing behind my ear, and I went to the doctor just to see if I could get it checked out, and he prescribed some cephalexin or Keflex for me. And so I took it. It went away eventually, but then all of a sudden I started to get some really, really bad stomach cramps. And I was throwing up. I was having some very, very bad diarrhea. And I was just feeling just very crappy overall. And that next month or month and a half for me was hell, literally. And then I eventually went to a gastroenterologist, and he wanted to do an endoscopy. And when endoscopy is, it's they send a tube down your mouth, and they just there's a camera attached at the end, and they just want to see what's going on down there. And the results came back normal. So it wasn't anything that had to do with that. And then my dad, well, it wasn't even my gastroenterologist. My dad was the one who recommended that to him that he should run or do a colonoscopy on me. And so I remember the exact day. It was the first day of May, and that was the day of my colonoscopy. By the way, the prep that you got to do for that, for the colonoscopy, is awful. It is the worst thing. And it tastes like you're drinking like some very, very bad, just super salty water, pretty much. It's very thick too. And it pretty much just, it flushes everything out for your procedure the next day. So I did the prep, the evening and the morning portions, and then I went into the office the next day for my colonoscopy. And it was around like early afternoon, and he ended up doing a colonoscopy on me, and he figured out that I have something called ulcerative colitis. And what this is, it's one of two forms of what is called inflammatory bowel disease. There's two forms. There's ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease probably being the more severe of the two, because Crohn's is more scattered. What Crohn's is, I call Crohn's disease from gum to bum, because it can affect anywhere from the mouth to the anus. Whereas ulcerative colitis it's more isolated, where it only involves the colon or large intestine. It can be anywhere from only the anus, or from all the way from the anus to the ascending colon, which is on the colon that's on the right side of your body, where your appendix is. And I don't know exactly how severe I have it, but I do know that I do have it. So and what the symptoms are is, it's just a bunch of symptoms. To save you the need, like if you're eating and stuff, just to save you from all the information, you can look it up on Google. All I'm saying, the main symptoms are just abdominal cramping, diarrhea, along with blood, the majority of the time at least. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna get very into the symptoms. Like I said, look it up on Google, and you'll figure out more about it. But yeah, then what he wanted to do was prescribe medicine for me, and I was kind of skeptical because of the side effects that I had to the cephalexin, and that is part of the reason why I think I got this. And also, it has something to do with genetics. I have like 2 or 3 other family members who have it, and but yeah, he, like I said, he did a colonoscopy, discovered I have ulcerative colitis, and uh, started prescribing me medication. And he put me on prednisone. He put me on a drug called Acecol, and they discontinued it. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure at least. So, and after a short term of being on the prednisone, he took me off of it because there could be some very serious side effects if you take it long term, prednisone that is. And so he took me off prednisone, and he put me on another UC or ulcerative colitis. I'm just gonna say UC from now on. Another UC medicine called Lialda, and I was taking that for a good 5 years, close to 5 years, and every now and then I would still flare up even though I was taking my Lialda and taking it. I would take 2 pills every morning, by the way, and I was still flaring up while I was taking the Lialda. I had 2 flares while I was taking it. One lasted for about 5 to 6 days, and the other lasted about 3 to 4 months. And those flares were not even close to as severe as my first one. My first one, I was just so dehydrated. I had a hard time standing and getting to the bathroom. It was that bad. And this was while I was a junior in college. So imagine having to go through all this pain and all these symptoms and still have to make it to classes and jot down notes and study for tests and take the tests. And the worst part was this was around finals week, and so I went in, took my finals with my head flat on my desk, wrote my answers, read the questions, and I was freaking so tired. I wanted to die, man. It was awful. And then I spent that entire summer recuperating, and I got all my weight back. I went from 150 all the way down to 115, and the thing is, like, I'm not that tall either. I'm only 5'8", about 5'8", maybe 5'9" at the most, and so I'm not that tall. So to be 115 at even my height is underweight. So yeah, that was about it. And then I would be taking the Lialda, and my first flare when I was started the Lialda was around April of 2015, and I wasn't going much at all. I was going a lot, but every time I went, it wasn't much. But there was blood, and that ended after about 6 days. And then during my second flare, I went to my gastroenterologist. I had to follow up with him. He wanted me to follow up with him every freaking 3 or 4 months, and I don't even know why. It was just to ask the same frequent questions. Am I still taking my medicine? Do I have any? Am I bleeding when I go to the bathroom? And to press on my stomach to see if there's any pain, and then to get blood drawn. $50 for all of that every 3 to 4 months, and I thought that was pretty crappy. So I went when I was flaring up again, and this was about around mid to late November of last year, 2017. And I told him I was having a little bit of pain, not much, but a little bit. And I told him there's blood on my stool, and he asked me when was the last time I had my colonoscopy. And I told him May of 2013. He said, "Ooh, it's been almost 5 years. Let's go for another one." He just wanted money because it wasn't 5 years, and well, my relatives only gets it every 10 years. Like, why do I need to go every 5 years? I mean, I don't know. He wanted money, I think. And then he also wanted me to get some blood work done. He wanted a stool sample done, and then he wanted me to get a colonoscopy in December, the following month. And by the way, that colonoscopy cost about $750 because my insurance it's not, but it's on the level of Obamacare because I'm unemployed. So yeah. And then he told me to come back in the next 3 months, and I didn't. And I stopped taking my Lialda because I thought he was just out for my money. And now it's September, and unfortunately I'm going through another flare-up. This one's lasted, I'd say, a little bit less than 2 months. It started around the time, around mid to late July was when I started feeling it come on. and then around the very end of July to the beginning of August was when the symptoms really kicked in, and they're still kicking in pretty good right now. Got a little bit of pain, diarrhea, sometimes with blood, and not taking my medicine. But the thing is, I don't think it's that, because I stopped taking my medicine around February or March of this year, so that was about April, May, June. So about 4 or 5 months after I stopped taking my medicine, I flared up. So I don't think it was my medicine, because I was going through a flare-up when I was on my medicine, so I don't think it was that. Maybe the stress of unemployment had something to do with it, but the thing is, like, when I'm not flaring up, I can eat whatever the fuck I want. But when I'm flaring up, I gotta limit it. I gotta eat cardboard, pretty much is what I call it. I gotta go on my cardboard diet and just limit a lot of things. But when I'm not flaring up, I can eat whatever the fuck I want. But I said when I'm going through a flare-up, gotta go back on that cardboard diet. And been on it since around, I don't know, July 30th, maybe July 29th. But yeah, I've been on it since then. And still haven't taken my medicine, still haven't had a follow-up with my gastroenterologist. And I might switch gastroenterologists if I have to go back to one, because I feel like this guy was just out for my money. I really do. And he was definitely not a, what they call, bedside doctor. He was definitely not one of those. He just wanted to be really quick, you know. And he said that after I have UC for 10 years, that my risk of colon cancer increases. And he said he would want to do a colonoscopy after I have it for 10 years, every 2 years. And then maybe after another 10 years, he would want me to do a colonoscopy every year? Screw that. I'm not getting a colonoscopy every year. Fuck that. But yeah, I would probably say that is my story in a nutshell. And that is what you have to go through if you have UC. But I would probably say that's my story in a nutshell. But present day right now, still going through a flare. Had UC for over 5 years. And looking forward to getting back into remission via food. Trying to stay positive throughout all of this. The only reason I haven't gotten my colon removed is that one word, and that one word is hope. And that hope is for a cure for this awful disease. And I know, looking at videos on YouTube, I know I'm not the only one, but it feels like I'm trapped. And I don't talk about this a lot because it's something I feel that's kind of embarrassing to talk about. And the only people that know that I have it until now, of course, is our family members. And I just didn't want to talk about it with anyone because I felt like it was a very, very embarrassing thing to talk about. And I don't go to the bathroom in public, even if I have to go, because it's embarrassing. I don't want someone to be in the bathroom while I'm going to the bathroom while I'm in a flare-up. It's fucking embarrassing. So, I would say that's my story in a nutshell. And when I found out that my risk of colon cancer increases after 10 years to 2%, that's nothing. That's nothing. And after 20 years, it's 8%. And then after 30 years, it's 18%. So, yeah, I mean, that's 2%'s nothing. So, I'll probably get one every 5 years, maybe even every 10 years. But, I mean, 2%'s fucking nothing. So, that is my story, and my ulcerative colitis or UC story in a nutshell. If you have any questions for me or about it or whatever, leave it in the comment section below and I'll be glad to answer them. If you have it, let me know, but I'd be surprised if anyone does. It's a very, very rare disease, but some people do have it, obviously. But yeah, I just wanted to share my story with you guys and let you guys know more about it. So that's about it. If you liked what you saw in this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and comment below. And I'll see you guys next time with another video. This is Steven signing out.